Hi, this is Ryan Moody. Thanks for joining me and starting a message series today called Saved by Faith or by Faithfulness. And it's based upon the Greek noun pistis, which is Strong's number 4102. It appears about 250 times in the New Testament and is consistently translated as the word faith rather than its true meaning, faithfulness. A second word that we're going to look at, not as in depth, but the verb pistuo, which is Strong's 4100, and it also appears about 250 times in the New Testament and is consistently translated as believe, except in just a few places where it's translated as its correct meaning, which is commit or entrust. So the bottom line that we're going to get to in this series is that we've been sold a message that salvation is by faith or by believing. And Bible translations have been skewed to read that way, to make it sound as though that's what the scriptures are teaching. We're going to look at two main verses and many others along the way, but the two main verses we're going to look at in this series, the first one is the quote from Habakkuk 2:4, which it's quoted 3 times in the New Testament, in Romans 1:17, Galatians 3:11, and Hebrews 10:38, and that is, the just shall live by faith. It's really faithfulness. And then the other verse we're going to look at is Ephesians 2:8 and 9, which says, for by grace you're saved through faith, which it's actually faithfulness, and that not of yourselves, it's the gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast. Now, I don't know how many parts of this series is going to be. Right as it stands right now, I've got about 8 lessons prepared. The first one is going to be the just shall live by faithfulness. Number 2 is God's faithfulness to his promise. Number 3 is the false antithesis of faith versus works. Number 4 is faithful Abraham. Number 5 is for by grace you're saved through faithfulness. Number 6 is hearing of Christ's faithfulness. Number 7 is God's people were never told to believe but to obey. And number 8, Christ preached faithfulness to him as Lord. And I recommend that you listen to this series in order. That would be best. Now, my teaching on this subject is no way in depth. This is just simply a starting point for your own studies. And I highly encourage you to take these things that I'm showing you here, and please study these things out for yourself. Study them objectively and with an open mind. You know, everyone likes to claim that they're like the Bereans. In Acts chapter 17, verse 11, it says, these were more noble than those at Thessalonica, and that they received the word with all readiness of mind and searched the scriptures daily whether those things were so. So notice when it says they received these things with all readiness of mind, that means they were open-minded. They were sincerely listening to the things that Paul was teaching and considering that they could be wrong about some things, and maybe he really has some things that are the truth and that they could learn from. They were sincerely open-minded and listening to him. And then it says they searched the scriptures daily whether those things were so. See, they weren't searching the scriptures to try to prove Paul was wrong. And no, they were searching the scriptures to see, is this really true or not? Is this the truth? And so essentially they were giving Paul a fair hearing. And that's what I'm asking in this series, if you would just please give a fair hearing to these things. So these lessons are really geared toward the average person. You know, the scriptures, God authored the scriptures in the common language of the people for the average person, because he wants us to understand it, and we can understand the truth. And I encourage you to please do that. Now, if you'd like to reach me, go to my website. It's understandingscripture.net. My email's there. Please contact me if you have any questions, or if you'd just like to stay in regular contact with me. You know, I'm always wanting to be in contact with like-minded people with the same heart and the same mind. So, yeah, please contact me. On the other hand, if you're calling me to dispute about something, that's fine too. Contact me. But all I ask, if you're contacting me to dispute something, I've had people in the past come to me pretending to be someone they're not, hiding behind a screen name, and it becomes obvious pretty quickly that they're not being genuine. If you want to dispute something with me, please be transparent about who you are. Just if you really believe in what you're standing for, put your own name and face and reputation out there. Don't be ashamed of what you believe in. And so, yeah, please contact me if you want to dispute about something. I've faced a number of pastors and ministers, and hey, we'll talk about it if you want. But I just thank you in advance for listening to this series, and I really hope you'll be blessed by it. And I just pray that God would richly bless you. Thank you.